Hey, mining family. Welcome to the mine. I'm Nemesis.
And I'm Relican.
And of course, I'm not your babysitter. Do your own research, but let's dig in. Mining motherboards, episode 4. Welcome. A motherboard provides the connections between all the other computer parts. One of the first items to consider when building a GPU miner is which motherboard to use. If you have an old functioning motherboard, it is possible to use it. I have used a 13-year-old motherboard, although you will find that it quickly has limitations, and that I did find.
Any motherboard with a PCI Express 16 slot and a PCI Express 1 slot for graphics processing will be able to be used for mining. Which means any PC that can go online with a newer GPU will work for mining. We are going to look specifically at current mining motherboards that are available.
The ASRock H110 Pro. This motherboard can handle up to 12 GPUs. With a BIOS update, it can do all 13. The one flaw with this motherboard is that the ports for the GPUs are very close to each other. So you will need some sort of insulator between these such electrical ports, such as electrical tape. I actually have one of these motherboards sitting right here. It's going to be for my next build, actually. So I can actually show it off a little bit. And as you see, it is very close to each other.
This is the ASRock B250M Pro 4. This motherboard is good for the miner on a budget if you're mining for a hobby. This motherboard will allow you to game as well as mine. Though it only has 4 GPU slots, it can handle expansion slots. Due to the smaller motherboard size, it can also be placed in a smaller case.
The Asus H370. A benefit of this board is you don't need to have adapters to plug into the motherboard. The USB cables that you would use from your PCIe plugs right into these. Another nice feature is that you can hook up 3 different power supplies to this without any extra wiring. The drawback is that no real OS really utilizes this, and the ones that do is not very stable at allowing this to run for a long period of time.
Asus B250. This board gives you 19 slots for your GPUs. There are 3 power supplies. There are also many drawbacks. You'll need to configure with specific graphics cards in the way they want, otherwise you'll be able to get 12 of one type.
Found this out, we have this board.
Yeah, a lot of problems. Anything over 8 GPUs of one type can cause the board to become unstable. Orientation on which you plug it in is also a big thing. Board.
Yeah, they want you to do it exactly how they have it mapped out. It was a bit of a learning curve. This was the very first motherboard I decided to grab, thinking that, oh yeah, I can just get one thing and plug everything in and be good to go. That was a big learning curve. The BioStar TB250. This is one of their newer models. It's a 6 GPU, so it's very stable. It's definitely a beginner board and comes at an extremely low price. It can accept the Celeron and Pentium processors. It uses the faster type of RAM. The board must not become overheated or it will fail. It does not give you full spectrum control on this. Well, I have not used this board myself yet, but from a lot of the reviews from a lot of the miners is that if it gets put into a room where it's got excessive heat, the boards tend to start bowing and flexing. This may cause problems, not saying that it will, but it may cause problems in any kind of long term of the board.
This is the BioStar H81A. This is also a good beginner board. There's not much difference from the TB250 model, except it can use older chipsets and lower RAM. Availability is limited as it appears this model is being fixed.
The BioStar TB85. This is the direct replacement for the H81A, which is being phased out. It is also still just a beginner board. This board has reported issues of PCI port failure and RAM port failure. I don't know if it's like a shipping issue or whatnot, but there are a lot of little issues that I've been hearing with this particular board, and also some reported stability issues. For this reason, I probably would avoid this board.
The BTC IC6S. You can plug 8 graphics cards directly into the motherboard without need. Right? They'll have just enough space between them. You don't need to buy a CPU or a RAM. To run all 8 graphics cards requires you to get a blower style case. A case with a bunch of fans pretty much to blow air over the cards. They are very loud though.
Yeah, this is kind of like a little interesting, nifty little thing. I might check out this board at some point, just because I want to check out the Octo board.
It's big though.
Yeah, it's pretty big just because it's got to be able to slot. It does fit 8 GTX 1070 Ti's on there, so it's got enough spacing for it, so it's pretty long. As you can see, we left the measurements on there just to show you how long this bad boy really is. The BTC H81. The few people that I know that use this board say that they have really no issues with it. It's just a basic 6-slot mining motherboard. It does come from China, so this will get hit with the new tariffs if you're ordering directly from China, unfortunately. And the tariffs on something like this would be like 27.8% tax on there. I think it's like somewhere right around there.
This is the Gigabyte H110J. Board that can easily handle 6 graphics cards with no required setup. Very versatile, allow you to plug in any risers. If utilizing a USB thumb drive with an operating system on it, you will need to access the settings of the motherboard and turn on that feature. This is a common occurrence with motherboards. You need to go into the BIOS and...
Yep, that's pretty much a lot of them. A lot of them you have to go in there, especially with the Gigabyte ones. You've got to kind of make it find which style memory you're utilizing, whether you're using a thumb drive or you're using an actual hard drive. And then the Gigabyte B250 FinTech. I have this board myself. It's a decent motherboard. Comes with adapter plugs to plug in up to 3 power supplies. So it's got the daisy chain for 3 power supplies to be turned on without any issues. This board is very versatile and will utilize any graphics cards. Right out of the box, the board only supports 9 graphics cards. You will, if you have a bunch more that you want to put on, before you can go over 9, you'll have to do the BIOS updates on.
This is the Zotac B150. Row capacitors between the PCIe slots. Adapters have more room between them, so you don't have to worry about them shorting out when they touch each other compared to the earlier board. This board will allow you for extreme overclocking, and it's made in Hong Kong, so you're gonna have those tariffs.
Yep, lovely tariffs. So this one, if you're trying to keep your price budget down, you might be looking elsewhere for the time being until these tariffs go away. And which motherboard do you think you might choose? Are you going to choose something like what I have here? Would you choose something like this with 13 slots on there? And what's nice about this one too is that this slot right here is an M.2 slot. I could put another port in there and actually put 13 graphics cards onto this board. 14 graphics cards instead of the native 13 that it has on here. I probably will have to do the BIOS update on this whenever I get the board up and going, which is fine. And of course, I might have a little build going on towards the end of all the series. So do stay tuned, guys. And with that being staying tuned, let me know what motherboard you think you might want to do. Drop a comment in down below. And
like always, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.